Hi, this is Humaira Fasihudin, and I'm with the National Collegiate Inventors and Innovators Alliance and the Epicenter Engineering Pathways. And I'm here with Juan Carlo Pascua of the University of Las Vegas, Nevada, a student ambassador from our first cohort back when we launched in 2010. And welcome, Juan Carlo.
Thanks, Humaira. It's good to be here.
It's great to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm really excited to hear what you've been up to since. Just to provide a little context for viewers, back when we launched the program, a student ambassador used to apply. They also were given a small grant to accomplish their work. And we went into it with the notion that you were only going to do it for a year and that you were going to have some kind of big event that brought entrepreneurship onto the radar screen of the general public on campus. And a lot has changed since then. But a lot has changed for you, too. I mean, it's been 3 years. Yeah. So I'd like to start by asking you to describe what we knew to be the environment at UNLV 3 years ago. And you know, put that in the context of where you came from. You had transferred in from a school in California, I believe, right?
Right.
So tell us that story.
Okay, well, I transferred from a school in California, UC Santa Cruz. I double majored in psychology and civil engineering. They didn't have civil engineering there, so I transferred to Las Vegas. And while I was in Santa Cruz, I just had a business plan competition, and we became semi-finalists, and it was very interesting to go through that. It was like my first touch with starting a business, and it kind of got me a little hooked. But when I came to UNLV, I just wanted to focus on engineering, not touch anything until I graduated. Then we get the call from the NCIA through our engineering college that they need somebody to run the entrepreneurship program with the engineers, and I thought it would help, so I signed up, and then it just kind of sucked me in because I met Humaira over the phone, and then they flew me out to Massachusetts and met a bunch of other great ambassadors, very inspiring, and then it just kind of triggered this this spark in me, which I kind of wanted to trigger in other students. You know, if you have an idea, it doesn't have to die just because you don't have the resources. Find the resources and find the way. 3 years ago, it was a lot different. It was about 2010. The recession was hitting Las Vegas hard. Jobs were, disappearing, and people were losing their houses. So to talk about entrepreneurship was a very touchy subject. Tell people that you have a dream, you should go for it, when their dream probably was smashed by the recession. Their savings were gone. Some people were coming back to school, in their 30s and 40s at UNLV, because that was just the only option. So when I came in, they just completely demolished their technology transfer office. They just found a new director for the Center for Entrepreneurship, and he was still getting his bearing down. So as far as staff support, there wasn't much. But I really want to thank the NCIA, because they hooked me up with my advisors, John Wang and Rama Venkat, who were also, interestingly enough, grantees for the NCIA about 10 years prior to that. And they started something called the Senior Design and Innovation and Entrepreneurship contest. So students that are seniors get to work on their specific senior design projects with a specific focus in trying to commercialize. So there was a start there, and then it kind of, the torch was passed to me, and those two gentlemen who became professors at our university were very honest in saying that it's going to be difficult to do what you're doing, and they always chuckled a little bit. And I remember that first meeting, I was like, well, okay, interesting. And it was true. As I just started handing out flyers and just talking to people, some people didn't even know what entrepreneurship was, which was amazing to me because it's such a big thing in California. And I was kind of excited, but I knew for a fact that it would be hard. But it just got harder as I found out how hard it was.
Right.
Okay, so, well, to recap, we have this environment where students don't really know what's going on with entrepreneurship. Right. And the recession just happened, and our staff at UNLV is kind of being jumbled around because we have all these budget cuts, so it's difficult to get staff support at that time. But I remember something Humaira said. She's like, don't get yourself down, you just need some wind behind your sale. And so just start launching your invention of venture workshop. So I was like all gung-ho. I went for it. I spent many a sleepless night planning it with a few friends. And we pulled it off in November, and I was really proud of us. And from there, I made some of my best friends. One of them is Greg Friesmuth, and we've been talking for years. He's a really good technologist, just an undergrad. And now we're 3 years later taking one of our ideas and talked to several investors through the university.
You're partners.
Yeah, that was totally one of those things. Who's going to be my co-president? We discovered that the best way to teach entrepreneurship wasn't so much for a club and start off slow, not with the resources and time we had, but we wanted to set an example. So we spent a lot of effort, because that's what I was recommended by Dr. Wang and from EventCat. It's like when some people see it, like you build it, they'll come. And so that's what we're in the middle of. Now that we have more free time, since we're both full-time engineers and I just graduated, it's looking really up. There's a lot going on. Humera brought it up in an email that we have Tony Shea from Zappos who's investing a lot into downtown projects.
Right, exactly. So yes, let's fast forward now. 3 years later, there's a lot of different things. And Tony moving his entire operation of Zappos to Las Vegas. I mean, just not far from downtown, right?
Right, not far from downtown. UNLV is probably 10 minutes away, so it's relatively close by. He's spoken on campus for another entrepreneurship club that just started right after ours. And ever since then, there's just been this connection. They've sent over a lot of their engineers just to talk to our engineering students and get the feel for, like, you could develop your own apps, you could start your own business, get that experience, because it's useful to be an engineer and have a business background, because it's very, very valuable in the business world.
Right.
Yeah.
What other factors have changed the campus ecosystem and the off-campus ecosystem in the last 3 years, if any?
Well, I feel like in the first year that I was there, they were just really focusing, UNLV is really focusing on saving money, cutting costs, working on the budget. But now they've really focused on starting ventures and having a business focus, trying to bring businesses from out of town into Nevada, because it's a very tax-friendly location to start a business. It's probably why Tony Shea's probably out here. That's the guess. Or other businesses too, because they could seriously cut rent in half if they move from San Francisco down to Las Vegas downtown, and you'd be right next to Tony. So that's what he's pushing for. We also have a really great environment for databases or servers. There's this company called Switch that started out here, and it's one of the biggest data centers on the West Coast. And that's just another ecosystem for web ventures. And I didn't know about it back then, but that they've really worked with the Startup Weekend group along with Tony Shea to, start up people to get into the whole web tech startup business. So that wasn't around. So you have all these people that we didn't know were really good at programming coming out of the woodworks from out of town and just coming in saying, hey, I want to start something. And I hear a lot, like people just like, Vegas was an obvious choice. It's very conducive to my business, and the servers are right there. People are friendly. Costs of life are cheap, especially for an entrepreneur.
Right.
I think saving $500 a month would be
it's
big.
Huge. It's huge in this economy, as the economy tries to improve. And if you're a student just graduating, that's huge. How could you move to any other place in the country where there's not a lot going on? And now there's more incentive to stay and do that. So what is the climate like for students, both being involved in driving the entrepreneurial ecosystem on campus, but also participating in the entrepreneurial ecosystem? If you were to go up to 10 students on campus today versus 3 years ago, are they aware of this climate, this evolution?
They are certainly aware. It's always in the newspaper, and it's something our professors are always talking about. And we also have a new entrepreneur in residence. His name's Dominic Moreau, who's a good friend of mine. And he is actually the owner of the old Tyson Mansion. And so he uses that as an event center for a lot of local events. So it's kind of a hub. You could have there was just a barbecue picnic for friends and family the other weekend, and before that there was a graduation party. Before that, they held the business plan competition for Southern Nevada and the mansion, and then
Wow.
they also did like a green clean energy summit. So it's being a partner with Dominic has also been useful in terms of building the community that we were desperately needing that was lacking. There was no focus before, and now there's suddenly a lot of energy, and we just got to work out the kinks. But it's like night and day.
What you've just described is sort of an elevation of the status of entrepreneurship and the opportunity of technology development at the Tyson Mansion with an entrepreneur in residence. That sort of just takes it up a notch, and what a great resource. So I would love to find a way to have a student ambassador at UNLV, especially now that you've graduated. It would be really great to identify a Juan Carlo Pascua from 3 years ago, someone who gets it and wants to help make it happen, really focus on the entrepreneurial ecosystem. There is quite a bit more that we do today than we used to do. There are resources, a really strong network of peers, 30 some odd student ambassadors now, moving up to 60 in a year's time, and 300 in year 3 is our goal. And an array of different resources, students who are running student-run venture funds are writing about it and sharing about it with student peers in the ambassador program, student-led incubators, from big TEDx's to smaller invention-to-venture workshops, from creating innovation spaces with 3D printers and lots of whiteboard walls for brainstorming and innovation, to writing, holding Arduino workshops and Raspberry Pi workshops to help peers understand how to acquire some new skill sets that perhaps aren't available within the institution. So it would be great to find a way to connect UNLV to that, especially now where you've really sowed a lot of the seeds and made the ground fertile for even more growth. So we should definitely talk about that for this coming year.
Please, yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was great to connect with you. Thank you so much. And any final parting words to student ambassadors who may be looking at their campus and thinking, how am I going to possibly achieve this? Okay. What would you say?
I would say this time is unique in history for startups from college universities. I don't think there'd be a better time in the history of mankind to just go for it. When you're a student, you have all these resources that will pretty much disappear when you graduate, so you kind of have to start over. And it's a great place to fail a lot because, you're not spending all that much money and you don't have a mortgage or a loan, so you're not risking that much either. So get those, battle scars and go for it. And starting an NCIA-funded club or a workshop, it really helped me develop all these connections with people that I don't see I could have found anywhere. Like, it's literally invaluable for my city to be able to say I was part of that, and it will be invaluable for wherever you are. So I would definitely encourage it, and you will learn a lot. Just be open to the wounds you'll get, and you'll get stronger afterwards.
Thank you, Juan Carlo. Great advice. Appreciate the time. Look forward to being in touch.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.